Well, welcome everybody to Thursday night here in Cameron. We're giving you a little bonus JV footage. I wanted the live stream up. We had some internet problems at the school district the last time. We had a girls' game at home, and unfortunately we weren't able to bring you the game. So we are back online. The boys' game was broadcast. Everything went well. We're hoping for the same with the girls' game tonight. But when it says 6:45, I want to be on the air. You're going to get a little, again, bonus footage of the end of the Cameron JV girls game. JV in command here, 47-8, with 4 minutes left in the JV game. I see we have the band on hand tonight, so they're going to be doing a little performance for us before the game. We will have some advertising for you in between the games on the We Are Cameron Network here for our supporters and ourselves. So enjoy the bonus coverage of the end of the JV game, and I'll be back with you for the pregame stats and the play-by-play. Well, there you have it. JV ended 51-10. Very dominating performance by Cameron's JV. So let's get started. Okay, we are having a little bit of technical difficulties with our ads this evening and the introduction, so you got me for the night. When the band plays, I'm going to allow you to listen to them, but in the meantime, let's talk about where we are tonight. Barron is in the house tonight. On the season, they're 4-6. In the Heart of the North Conference, they are 3-3. Currently sitting in 5th place in the Heart of the North, coached by Kim Weber. Recently, they just got a win over Spooner, 52-47, but lost to Amory Northwestern. They were able to beat Cumberland and Ashland in the conference. Again, gonna let you enjoy the band for a moment. Okay, research in the Burton Bears. It looks like their leading scorer, averaging nearly 13 points a game, is a freshman, Addie Cruzy. Close behind her in scoring, Izzy Donica, averaging about 12 points a game. That's a senior. And behind her is a Jaslyn Smith, a freshman. So kind of leading the scoring for the Barron Bears. We got 2 freshmen, so that's going to be fun to watch. In rebounds, Addie Cruzy also leading the team in that, averaging nearly 9 rebounds a game. And Jocelyn Smith, the freshman, averaging 6 rebounds a game. So the freshmen definitely have an impact for the Barron Bears this year. For assists, Ellie Edwards leading the team as a sophomore, then Jocelyn Smith. So we got what appears to be some very young, active players for Barron, which is good for the future. Okay, now for your Cameron Comets. Some intel we have for them. They are 7-2 overall since the last time we were able to broadcast. They had a couple tough games. They played, and I got to give them credit, number 3 in Division 4 in the state, Eau Claire Regis. And that game I watched myself. They actually had the lead at halftime, but Regis came back, very good program, and pulled the game off. So I'll let the band, I'm not going to fight them. I'll let you listen to them, and we'll be back with you. Ooh, a band classic there. Back to the Cameron. Their 2 losses. 3rd in the state, Regis in Division 4, and the Rice Lake Warriors 7th in the state in Division 2. Again, the Rice Lake game, I was at that game, and boy, that was a great first half. Back and forth basketball. And the second half of that game again, the Warriors were able to pull ahead of the Comets. The final score is 64-42, but that game was a lot closer than that. Other than that, them are the only 2 losses that Cameron has. They are tied for first in the conference at 6-0 in the conference. They're tied with Hayward. Hayward is 6-0 as well, and actually Hayward right now is 9-1 overall. All right, your Comets after tonight are going to be in action again on Tuesday, the 13th. They're going to be at Ashland. Ashland 0-7 in the conference, 1-8 overall. I'm afraid that might be a long drive for not a lot of competition, unfortunately, for Ashland. They've been down recently in some of their games. But next Friday night, the 16th, at Hayward, it's going to be a battle of what I'm going to say is the unbeatens in the conference. The Hayward Hurricanes and the Cameron Comets are going to be battling for the outright lead of the Heart of the North. And that very well could be the matchup for the Heart of the North title. But Monday, January 19th, we will be back here broadcasting for you against the Ladysmith Lumberjills. That was a good game we had against them. Came out on top over in Ladysmith, but I'll guarantee you they didn't forget it. They're a quick team. They'll come back here. They got a lot of good players. And we'll be playing them the 19th at home. So next week, we're going to have 2 games on the road, and we'll be back the following week where we'll have 2 games at home, and we'll be with you for those. Cameron right now is being led in scoring by Bridget Moans this year, a junior, averaging just over 15 points a game. Close behind her is number 2, our freshman, Aggie Schmidt, having a great freshman year at the varsity level. She's averaging just over 13 points a game. Followed closely by Bailey Olson, been one of the leading scorers the last couple years for the Comets. She's averaging 12.5 a game. And right there behind her is Inez Schmidt, averaging 10.2 points per game. So we got 4 players in double digits, and so far this year I've seen every single one of them lead the team in scoring. So nothing better than having a very diverse team in scoring. That's hard to stop. That's going to pay dividends down the line. The other starter tonight and all season is the only senior starting, Anna Baraboo, averaging nearly 7 points a game. But as we called it at the beginning of the year, she's also leading in rebounds, averaging almost 9 rebounds a game. Inez Schmidt not too far behind her at 8.5 rebounds a game, and Aggie Schmidt right there at 7 rebounds a game. Again, impressive stats for a freshman. Something we don't talk about a lot, but is always fun to watch, is steals per game. Inez is averaging almost 4 steals a game, and Aggie and Anna are averaging nearly 3 steals a game. So very quick team, very athletic. But with a minute left, we're going to give you the tale of the tape. Barron averaging 37 points a game. The Comets averaging 63 points a game. Field goal percentage for both teams, though, is about 38%, so they're shooting a very similar percentage. 3-pointers, though, a big difference. The Comets have shot twice as many 3-pointers in the first games of this year as the Barron Bears, and they're also hitting about 30% of their threes compared to Barron's 10%, so we'll want to keep an eye on that. There's a pretty big difference there. Free throw percentage, both teams probably need some work on that. They're very even in free throw percentage. It appears the offensive boards have been controlled pretty well by Cameron Comets, but the defensive boards are definitely dominated by the Barron Bears. Steals per game definitely goes to the Comets, but the Bears must have some height in there because they're definitely blocking. Their fair amount of shots are averaging 3 block shots a game. But turnovers, which is going to be a factor in this game, Barron's averaging 33 turnovers a game to the Comets 16. That's one of those you want to see that number low. So the tail of the tape right now is tipping this a little bit in favor of the Comets, but you never know on any given night. So as we line up tonight and get ready for the national anthem, something I'm going to try and bring you once in a while, the Star Spangled Banner that we're going to listen to. What year was that written? And it was actually passed in law by Congress in a different year and signed by a certain president to be declared our national anthem. So as we stand and join in this, something to think about: when was this wrote and when was it adopted into law?
Please stand and move your hat and listen to Cameron Choir Director Scott Jensen singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, we're getting ready for the introductions. For those of you who thought about it, Star Spangled Banner wrote originally in the year 1814 and it passed into law by Congress in 1931. Signed by what president at that time? Herbert Hoover. All right, we'll hit you with some more trivia in a little bit. Now time for the introductions. The Barron Bears starting. Zendra Gillick. Number 2. Number 13, Bella Meza. Number 30, Izzy Donica. Number 21, Jaslyn Smith. And number 20, Addie Cruzy. And now for your Cam and Comets, our freshman, Aggie Schmidt. Number 11, her sister, Inez Schmidt. Number 13, we have Bailey Olson. Number 24, we have Anna Baraboo, our only senior starting out there. And finally, our junior, Bridget Mones. So as we get ready to start, it looks like the Barron definitely has got the height advantage, and that could be something that if they work it on the inside post, could tighten this game up quite a bit. Cameron, not quite as tall, but a very fast, very aggressive, scrapping team. So it looks like the freshman, Addie Cruzy, who's having what appears to be an outstanding year for Barron. Haven't seen her play. I'm looking forward to this. Is going against our junior, Inez Schmidt, on the jump. You see we got a good crowd on hand, Cameron and Barron alike. A few former Barron players in the house. Riley Ruink from last year and Casey Stauner, two of the standouts from Barron. They were really missing them. Both aggressive, fast players. Barron comes out, gets the jump ball. As I get acclimated to the players. Players are working around, out to Cruzy. Working the ball around the top into Donica. She's going to do some stuff in the post today, I believe. She has in the past. Up on top to Meza. Back into Gillick. Oh, lost ball, but Donica comes up with it, and a nice drive to the basket, underhanded off the glass and in. Barron is on the board, 2-0. Comets bring the ball down the floor quick. They're probably going to do that the entire game, working around the outside. Aggie Schmidt over to Bailey Olson, back to Aggie, over to Inez. Up top to Aggie, working around the outside. Looks like they're trying to set something up. Over to Olson on the side, drives in. Aggie with the jumper from the free throw line. Not sure if she intended to go glass, but it looked nice, worked. And we got us a tie ball game. Barron working that center post with Donica. Tried to feed it in, didn't quite get it there in time. Comets transition. On the steal, the initial miss by Moans, rebound for Aggie Schmidt. She was right there to clean it up and put it in with the foul. So Aggie going to the line, first 4 points for the Comets. And nice. A nice three-point play for Aggie and the Comets, and they take a 5-2 lead. And again, Barron is looking to work that center post with Donica. As they work it around the outside again, tried to get it in. Comets are covering that well. Another turnover, and down they come. Bailey Olson for a three. A little bit hard off the back of the rim. Rebound, Barron, a little fight for the ball there, but Barron definitely came up with that one. No jump ball going to be there. To the post with Donica. She works it around. Comes back on top to Smith. A quick pass over. Ends up back on top with Jillick. And now we got Cruzy in the middle. Now that's what she's going to do all night right there, I think. And nicely gets her own rebound. She is tough inside. Let her some good moves for a freshman playing at the varsity level. That's tough to do. So her first trip to the line. A little bit hard off the glass. Rebound came down, a little bit loose ball there, but ends up in Moan's hands. Moans works it ahead to Schmidt. Back to Moans, works it around to Inez. Back on top to Bridget. Bridget over to Inez. Inez over to Bailey Olson. Again, the Comets working around. Oh, a nice pass by Olson to Moans, who cut in the back door, wide open. Missed it off the glass. A nice little shot there. That was a good play, though. Well, Baraboo got her hand on it, tipped it. Schmidt tried to grab it and take off, but got tripped up. I don't think that certainly was anything intentional. Everybody was going for the ball, and Aggie's quick. She was getting out of there, and legs got caught up, and the first foul on Jillick. So we inbound. I'm going to be calling Inez Schmidt by Inez and Aggie Schmidt by Aggie. Otherwise, it's going to be Schmidt to Schmidt to Schmidt, and that's not going to be very fun for the listening audience. So Inez fires it over to Olson. Olson again inside to Moans. Couldn't quite get her hands on that one. Bounce pass was there, didn't quite come clean up with it, and Barron was right there. So Barron back, setting up again. They're working that center post right at that free throw line with Donica working around the outside, trying to get it in. But the Comets defense is all over them. Again, Baraboo with their hand in the cookie jar there, being able to knock that one away. Ball goes to Aggie. Aggie down the court, and again, going to the free throw line. That second foul on Jillick. Aggie with a nice looking free throw there. And she's 3 for 3 on the free throws. Very impressive. And they're picking up that half court pressure again. I'm not sure how much the Bears have seen of this type of pressure. Inez on the reach-in when she was going by on the dribble. Inez tried to steal it there, but got a little bit too much arm. Into Cruzy. Cruzy in the post. Nice. Nice kind of pump up, come around off the backboard. Again, I think we're going to see a lot of that. She's going to be tough to stop. Comets down. Moans has an open look for three, and she hits it. Cruzy set up on the outside right now, working around. Comes back over to Jasmine Smith. The freshman tried to go up with the three. I think Bridget got her hand on it. Bailey Olson's bringing it down. If she kicks it out, ooh. Moans was open there, standing at three-point line, but pass wasn't quite there. Aggie Schmidt now fires a three, in and out. That was close. Moans got her hand on that one to get it back out. Over to Bailey Olson. Takes a long three. She was a solid 3 feet behind the three-point line and drains it. It's going to be a long night for the Bears if the Comets start hitting these threes like this. 13-4 with 13 left in the first half. Foul on Anna Baraboo. Again, trying to get in the post to Donica, but the Comets are very aggressive. It does get them into foul trouble on occasion, though. Pass in. I think they tried to get it to Cruzy over the top. And now you have basically three Comets. It wasn't a 3-on-1. It was a 3-on-0. So Comets with a 15-4 lead early here in the first half. And we're going to take a commercial break while the Bears call the time.
We keep We respond when it matters most.
We are Northwood Tech.
Okay, Barron making probably some adjustments, down 15-4, 13 minutes left in the first half. Workman brings it. Well, that happened so fast as I'm trying to get the scoreboard to show up here for you guys at home. I'll try and keep you updated on the score, but it seems to black out once in a while. Comets tenacious on defense. The Bears have barely got it past half court last two times, and the Comets are stealing, as they just did again, and breaking it away. Inez Schmidt over to Aggie. Aggie with the foul from behind by Cruzy. That's going to be her first. And Aggie goes to the free throw line for the third time this first half. 19-4 if you can't see the scoreboard. Comets up. Been transitioning very well, but that's kind of been the name of the game for the Comets. Peyton Sievert enters the game for the Comets. Number 33 as Bridget Moans comes out for a second. I see lined up for Aggie is Quinn Grassman, another freshman. So Aggie Schmidt coming out after hitting that free throw. And Grassman, number 20, is in. So Comets are bringing it down. Jasmine Smith, the freshman, has it. Works it over to Mesa. Across the top to Grant. Grant's in the ball game now. Back over to Smith. Smith tries to get it to Cruzy on the sidelines here, but looks like her foot or ball touched out of bounds. Couldn't quite tell from my angle. Either way, Comets ball. Olson's going to bring it down. Just Inez Schmidt on the court now of the Schmidt sisters. Schmidt out to Sievert for three. Into the game. First shot, good. Sievert, a junior, kind of been the first one off the bench in all the games. She is tenacious on defense as well. Very quick, very aggressive, and has been doing some excellent outside shooting this year. Barron trying to work around the outside. I think they're still thinking about trying to get it in the post, but they have definitely moved their game out a little bit further. I think trying to prevent the steals. Comets were kind of all over them. Over to the side for Donica. Donica with a nice baseline shot. Couldn't get it to go. Just a little bit strong. Ball out of bounds. Comets ball. And a Baraboo coming out. Kylie Cherney, it appears, coming in. Kylie's a junior. So Comets up 23-4. 11 minutes left here in the first half. Schmidt into Sievert. Sievert not afraid to drive to the basket. I've seen it quite a bit. Impressed by that. She does it again. Lays it in. Sievert's 2 for 2 coming off the bench. She's got 5 quick points. Bears with it on top. Grant works it into Cruzy. Kylie Cherney just a hair taller than Baraboo, but she's going to have her hands full with Cruzy. Comets ahead to Sievert. Sievert off the backboard, almost rolls in, comes out. Loose ball, scrap for it. Call the jump, and it goes the way of the Comets this time. Cherney gets the inbounds, goes up with it right away, kind of a little bit hard off the glass, and it was all Barron for the rebound. Bears bring it down, work it over to Grant on top. Grant back over to Gillick, back to Grant. Again, thinking about getting in the post. There goes Cruzy. A nice drive, lay off the backboard, didn't quite go. Scrap for the loose ball, comes up in Barron's hands. Gillick has it. Works it over to Meza. Meza works it around to Donica and back into Cruzy, and we're going to see what Cruzy does again here inside. Oh, she was going to the right side of the basket for a lay-in. I think she had it, but Bailey Olson stepped in and took the ball. A nice steal on Olson's part. Cruzy straight up defense, Cherney inside, tried to get it up there, got a little bit too far underneath the basket and couldn't quite get it up there over Cruzy. Cruzy looks to be a force on that defensive end when you get down to the basket. Again, trying to get it into her. Cruzy to a wide open Donica at the free throw line. It was a good shot, came hard off the glass, and the Comets are running again. Schmidt takes it from one end to another, draws some contact right at the basket, finishes well. Basket counts, and Mesa's got her first foul. So Bailey Olson comes out. Bridget Moen's back in the game. Bridget again leading the Comets in scoring, averaging just over 15 points a game. Schmidt nicely hits a free throw at the line. She comes out, replaced by Aggie Schmidt. So right now on the floor we have 2 freshmen and 3 juniors for the Cameron Comets. Gillick breaking it up. Sievert all over her. Feeds it into Cruzy again. Playing a good post position there. Over to Donica, who had a good drive baseline but couldn't get it to fall. Into Cruzy. Cruzy working underneath. Couldn't get that one to go. But these Bears are definitely scrapping for the ball. We had one go down over there close to the bench. Looks like that was Gillick. She got up. Looks to be just shaking it off. I was kind of afraid there. She got pretty close to the bleachers, but fortunately she was able to get up and run that off and came right back. Scrap for the loose ball to draw a jump ball and Barron ball. So impressive couple ends for Gillick. diving out of bounds, trying to save that one, and then turns around, comes down, and scraps to get the loose ball and draws a jump, and Barron has it. A double team on top, gets it into Cruzy, who's driving to the basket, but Schmidt comes on the backside trying to pick her pocket and was able to knock it out of bounds. But you can see when Cruzy gets it, she's got a nice move to the basket, and she's going to have a pretty good career here doing all this stuff as a freshman. So an outside jumper comes hard off the rim. Moans with the rebound. Works it up to the sideline to Schmidt. Into Cherney. Cherney's trying to fight against Cruzy, but there's a little size difference there, and I'm afraid Cherney's not going to win that one. Cruzy with a nice block and grab the ball. Barron working it around again and into Cruzy. Oh, she thought about driving to the basket. Seen Donica was open, but took that couple steps first and got called for the travel. Comet ball, Schmidt's bringing it down, works it over to Grassman. Grassman hits Moans a little bit outside. Here again, working it around to Grassman, over to Schmidt. They're really trying to stretch Barron out. Sievert gets a good look, in and out. Loose ball goes to Aggie Schmidt. Aggie drives. Well, from my angle, Cruzy had a nice block on top, but I think it was body contact where Aggie kind of went into her, and the block is kind of negated with the foul, unfortunately. So Aggie to the line for shooting probably her 5th or 6th free throw already. And the Comets out to a 28-4 lead with 7 minutes, 23 seconds left in the first half. So Schmidt 1 for 2 on those free throws. And the Barron Bears are going to come back. Jillick trying to get it over, but Moans cutting in. Gets a steal, goes up a little hard. Aggie Schmidt again trailing her, gets a rebound, and puts it back up. Boy, you're getting some stats there when you're grabbing the rebound and putting it right back up and making it. Again, the Comets just tenacious on defense. Out there near half court, Barron is having a hard time getting the ball in. But I do like what they have going on inside when they get that opportunity. But again, the rebound, and out come the Comets, and they're running. And Aggie Schmidt takes it coast to coast. Finishes well. Tough to stop, 33-4. And we're going to hear a word from one of our sponsors.
Everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, hit me up with my homies, and we do it all again.
Okay, back in action here. Bears taking a timeout, trying to make some adjustments, but it is hard to adjust to this tenacious defense and speed. Comets, not the biggest team, but boy. So 6 minutes, 41 seconds left in this first half, 33-4. Comets really opened up a big lead. All right, let's see what changes the Bears made. Hopefully they're able to pull back into this game a little bit. Olsen with the steal over to Moans. Moans finishing well this time at the basket. I think the Bears are trying to tighten it up on top to keep those passes a little bit shorter, but the Comets snuck in there and snuck in there again. Loose ball, not sure what the call is yet, but it looked like it was tipped out of bounds by Workman for the Bears. It is Comet ball. Moans over to Inez Schmidt. Inez in now. Aggie is out. Over to Bailey Olson for 3 from the baseline. A little long. Not sure why neither one of the Comets tried to grab that one. I almost thought they thought it might have been off Barron, but it definitely was not. So, Barron ball. In for the game now, number 22, Garden Cruzy, is Ava Lussin. She is a senior this year. So, the Comets working their options on what they can do to attempt to stop Cruzy. Anna Baraboo back in the game. The feed out to Moans. Moans takes it all the way, but got fouled on her way up. So Moans going to go to the free throw line. So in the game now, starter Anna Baraboo back in, number 24. Ava Lussin, a senior, number 22, came off the bench. Aggie Schmidt sat down. Inez Schmidt came in. Bailey Olson back in the game, and Bridget Moans. Bridget connects on that free throw, 37-4, 5 minutes, 38 seconds left in this first half. And Bridget Moans comes to the bench, and Sievert back in the game. Sievert number 33. So Grant brings the ball up around half court. Bailey Olson, that's her third steal from that side, and she takes it from half court the whole way in. Kind of looks to draw a little contact there, but no call. She lays it in. The Bears are kind of trapping themselves in this corner. Olson with the steal, works it ahead to Sievert. I think that is 4 possessions, 4 steals for Bailey Olson, all right in front of the scorer's table. I think right now, as the Bears, we got to look at spreading that out somehow a little bit more. They started working it around, pass a little bit too high for Donica and out of bounds. So turnover is definitely a factor here. That is something we see in the pregame stats. About twice as many turnovers a game for the Barron Bears as the Comets. And that definitely is becoming a factor with the transition basketball here. Bailey Olson looked for Schmidt in the middle. Schmidt went the other way. Bailey threw it, didn't quite settle with her, and turned it over. Coming the other way, the Bears had the ball into Donica, but couldn't quite keep the handle on it, and a quick turnover the other way. So we've had a few back-to-back turnovers here. Olson brings it over half court, works to the sidelines for Sievert, shoots a 3, misses, but Lussin is right there for the rebound, goes back up, comes hard off the rim, out to Bailey Olson for another 3, does not go. Schmidt gets it, kicks it out to Olson. Olson with a nice drive to the basket. It doesn't go. Comets fighting for the ball. Anna Baraboo comes up with it. Sievert drives off the glass, no good. Another offensive rebound. This time Schmidt kicks it out to Olson. Olson again misses. Lussin with the board and goes up and hits the cable above the basket. And anytime it touches the cable above the basket, it is automatically out of bounds. Oh, the officials saying the ball was tipped by Barron before hitting the cable, which makes it out of bounds on Barron. Thus, the Comets still have the ball. Into Baraboo. Baraboo with a nice jumper over the outstretched arms of Cruzy. I really thought Cruzy was going to block that one, but Baraboo had just enough on it. Bears try and pass it over. It was over the hands slightly of Workman as she was going to bring it in, as the ball was a little bit high, and she didn't have time to bring it in before Schmidt grabbed it out of her hands and brought it the other way. Bears bring it down, and again, Comets all over them. Baraboo this time with the steal. Over to Lussin. Lussin with a three-point shot, and she hits it. So the Comets now up 48-4 with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in this first half. And we will hear from one of our other sponsors. Okay, back from the break. Barron ball. Let's see what they can do. Got it into Cruzy. Cruzy put it down. Bailey Olson slapped it hard. Almost thought it went off Cruzy, but it didn't. And Barron to inbound it. Grant to throw it in. Cruzy, Donica in there, along with Jasmine Smith. Donica with the ball, kicks it back out to Workman. Workman over to Grant, into Donica. That was very nice. They set that up well. Donica in a great position, lays it off the backboard for two. They set that play up very well, got it in nicely. But the Comets come down, pass it over to Olson, and answer with a three. Bears working it over to Donica again. Cruzy trying to back in. Olson trying to steal it from the backside there, but a little bit too much contact with Cruzy and the foul on Olson, but I think that's her first. Oh, no, it's her second. I stand corrected. So Barron with the inbound, nice drive. Nice drive by the freshman Jasmine Smith from the outside. Came in, laid it nicely off the glass. That's what Barron needs to do more of right there. That was an excellent drive and laid off the glass. Comets working around to a cutting Grassman. Wow, nice pass, nice finish by Grassman. Grassman back in the game now with Kylie Cherney, Ava Lusson, Bailey Olson, and Sievert. The Bears trying to work it around a little bit, and a little too high, goes out of bounds. Comets now bringing it up. Sievert's bringing it up. Lusson is outside over in the corner. She eyes up another three. A little hard off the rim. Baraboo fought for the rebound off the Barron Bears. Bella Meza, number 13, back in the game. Workman taking a break. Into Ava Lusson, tried to drive hard. There was no going up right there. Kicked it out to Lusson. Lusson fired up a shot, didn't go. Loose ball comes out of Lusson over to Grassman. Baraboo outside in the corner. Fires it across the court to Sievert. Sievert not afraid to drive. Over to Cherney. Cherney finds an open Baraboo cutting in the middle, and somehow Grassman came out of there with that loose ball. Lusson brings it over to Baraboo. They set up again. Grassman fires from outside this time. Can't get it to go. Barron had a handle on it. Donica had it, leaning a little too far, and lost it out of bounds. So Comets with the ball, 1 minute, 4 seconds left in this first half. Inbounds to Grassman. Grassman over to Cherney. Cherney kind of having some contact, loses the ball. Barron comes up with it, goes to pass, but Grassman's right there to take it right back for the Comets. And the Comets don't appear to miss a beat on it. Working around the outside from Baraboo into Sievert. Sievert fires it up. Nothing doing. Grant with the rebound, but again, tenacious defense by the Comets. Donica's bringing it down. Jasmine Smith fires a three. Rimmed that thing in and out. Thought it was good, but it came back out. Lusson with the rebound, brings it down over to Grassman. Grassman across the top to Sievert, over to Baraboo. Baraboo looks briefly. Sievert looks for a cut in Lusson, but it wasn't there. Over to Grassman. Finds Lusson. Baseline, she thought three. Bobbled it for a second. Over to Baraboo. Baraboo with a nice drive to the left side. Goes off the glass. They're down to 1 second. I don't think they're going to get a shot off, and they didn't. First half, 55-8. So we were hoping for a little bit closer game than this, but definitely the Comets going deep into their bench already. Some players definitely getting some quality playing time that haven't gotten a lot of time, so that's always good. The band has left us, so we do not have halftime entertainment there. So we'll bring you an ad, and I will be back. All right, one of our main sponsors, Northwoods Tech, just ran their ad. I can't say enough about them. Had definitely some certifications in a couple different areas from Northwoods Tech myself, including their CDL driving program. I can't say enough about how well that is put together and how well that has worked for myself and others, I'm sure. I was able to obtain my CDL through them. And also the law enforcement training, an excellent training program they have there. So the trades are getting very popular. I just received a text message that it is raining out pretty hard right now in the Rice Lake area. So I'm guessing a lot of you listening are listening from home, but if you're not, and you are traveling this evening, use caution. It is right at that freezing temperature, so be very careful. It's been a crazy week as far as this rain in January and thawing and freezing. So, a little bit of trivia for you. Being that we're at basketball, I'm going to go to one of my favorite players of all time, Michael Jordan. Can you tell me what season, like right now, this is the 2025-2026 Cameron girls basketball season. What season did Michael Jordan begin to play basketball? What was his rookie year? What was his rookie year? And talking about Jordan in the NBA draft, what position was he drafted in? I myself, being a big fan, I would have been guessing actually on both of these. But a little bit of other information, not sure if you knew it, but his rookie season, he was the Rookie of the Year, averaging 28.2 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists in his rookie year in the NBA. And if I recall, he was cut from his high school basketball team. Well, as you've talked about that, possibly shared some thoughts. His rookie season was 1984-85 was his rookie year, and he was drafted number 3 by the Chicago Bulls. So he was a third draft pick that season. He was part of 6 championships. Do you know the years? And also, in researching him a little bit further, I am aware now that he retired 3 times. So just wondering, do you know what years? Do you recall the years he won NBA championships? And he had 2 different three-peats, meaning 3 championships in a row. What years he was retired and what year he retired for good. Michael Jordan won championships 1991, 92, and 93. He actually retired in 1993 after his father died. Did a little stint in minor league baseball. Came back the 1996 season and won the NBA Finals 96, 97, 98. Retired in 99 to 2001. Came back 01 to 03 with the Washington Wizards. And retired in 2003 permanently from NBA basketball, but I do know he had ownership and a lot of involvement in basketball. So, a little bit of trivia there for you. I'll see if I can't get some statistics here while I
My friends know me as Derek, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxton. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Okay, back with you. Just had to track down a couple statistics that I didn't have for the first half. Donica for Barron leading their scoring with 4, and Cruzy with 2, but she's definitely been around the basket quite a bit. I see her having a lot more points in the second half. For the Comets, Aggie Schmidt, a lot of breakaways and some time at the free throw line where she's been doing well this game. She's leading all scoring with 15 in the first half. Bridget Moans with 9 in the first half. Bailey Olson has 8. Anna Baraboo with 6. And Inez Schmidt with 5. Inez has been a big part of the game, working the ball around, some steals and stuff, but just 5 points in the first half. But as we've seen, there's several steals by Bailey Olson, getting it ahead to Aggie Schmidt and Bridget Moans. I think there was 4 back-to-back-to-back steals right down in front of the Comets bench where the Bears were kind of trying to get that ball in there, and every time Bailey Olson got her hands on it and fed it down court to the very quick Aggie Schmidt and Bridget Moans, and they were able to turn it into points, I think, every time. So the quick transition steals, and when they got the rebounds, these Comets come out of there like a lightning bolt down the court. And if you're not ready for it, some of these teams just don't transition quite as well as these Comets do. So 55-8 in the first half. The second half, I'm going to guess we might come out with some starters for the Comets just to give them some playing time. I know sometimes when you're on the opposition, you wonder why that is, but as the Comets is in these games, and when they have a big lead in the first half, it's not that the Comets want to keep driving the nail in, but they definitely want to keep their girls on the court, give them playing time to play together, run some different plays, and keep them conditioned in the game setting. So it's, again, not about trying to run up the score or anything like that. It's about just giving the girls some minutes, because if you go too deep in the bench, those girls got a full game in, and then if they get half a game here, I know the girls get a little bit frustrated with that. So I see the Comets come out with their starters kind of as I anticipated. I'm going to guess you're probably only going to see them for a short time, and they'll start subbing pretty quickly. It appears the Barron Bears are coming out the same way with their starters. Comets ball, here we go. Olsen on top, over to Inez Schmidt. Inez working it back to Olsen. Olsen looking for a cutting Moans. I think they were thinking Baraboo underneath. And now they got it to Baraboo underneath, but that is a tough sell. Wow, I'm impressed she got it up. She had Cruzy on one side, looked like Smith on the other, and she got it up for 2. I notice this time Comets a lot more patient with the ball. I think you're going to see them working a lot more offense that way. The Bears outside, Smith with a three-pointer, doesn't go. Donica's right there for the rebound, puts it back. A good start for the Bears. Comets again, working it around. Olsen staying on the point on top. Moans cutting again, cuts it back out to Schmidt. Takes the open shot, no good. Rebound, into Baraboo. Looked like it was off, yep. Off Moans, out of bounds. Barron ball. Kind of as I anticipated, you could see the Comets are really trying to work it around, hit a cutter in the middle. So good to see them taking their time on their offense here. Trying some plays. We'll see what adjustments the Bears have made. Looked like she was coming over, looked like Jillick was going to come over and set a screen for Mesa, but she didn't quite wait for her. Something that could definitely open up the Bears' top game is if they started setting some screens, because the Comets are still pestering them pretty hard out there past the three-point line. Donica set up beyond the three-point line. Over to Jillick, who's kind of running on top with the ball. She lost it to Aggie Schmidt. Aggie brings it down off the backboard for 2 more for her. The Bears I'm pretty sure in a tighter game would have probably been called right there. She got her foot over the line before she threw the ball in. Official makes a good call and just says, hey, back up, let's do it over, let's do it the right way. Bears bring it down into Cruzy and off the glass for 2. Comets working around. Over to the corner to Moans, looking for a cutter. Cross court to Bailey Olsen. On top to Aggie Schmidt, over to Olsen, over to Inez in the corner. Aggie cuts. Inside, shot gets blocked. They get the rebound, work it back out again. Moans sets up. Bailey running it from the top again, over to Moans. Moans looks, nope. Back to Olsen on top, over to Inez. Aggie flashing to the middle. Bridget for the 3. Inez got her hand on it, trying to grab the board. No dice. Out of bounds. And the Comets are already subbing. Aggie Schmidt out. We have Peyton Sievert in and Anna Baraboo out with Kylie Cherney in. Again, the Bears going back inside to Cruzy. Cruzy being guarded by Cherney. Schmidt tries to come over and help, but got her hand on her. Ooh, they actually gave that one on Cherney. I kind of thought it was going to be called on Schmidt. It was on Cherney, her first. Cruzy to the line this time. Makes her first. Ooh, comes off the glass, rattles in and out, almost made her second. Rebound Comets. Coming down, now Inez Schmidt on top, over to Bailey Olsen, works it over to Bridget Moans. Down the corner to Sievert, back up. Schmidt in control on top. You can tell the Comets are flashing to the middle, but I'm going to tell you that middle, that's tough with Cruzy in the middle to try and work something in there. Olsen for a 3, no good. Long rebound to Schmidt. Schmidt works it around. Stolen by Smith. Smith going to bring it the other way. A last-second pass over to Jillick. They work it into Cruzy. Cruzy up, no. Rebound, yes. And one. So Cruzy back to the free throw line after putting her first one in. Long rebound. Sievert comes up with it. Works it over to Olsen. Back to Schmidt. On top again. Sievert. Comets being very patient in the second half. Again, trying to execute the offense, not trying to run up the score. Again, patiently waiting, trying to get a good shot. Sievert working around the top to Olsen. Kind of waiting for somebody to cut, get open. Feed it into Schmidt. Back to Olsen. Olsen loses a handle. Moans gets it, tries to go up with a quick shot. But as she does, shot was blocked. But at the same time, Jasmine Smith gets a little bit of the hand. Enough to send Moans to the line. First one's good. Getting some extra viewers tonight. Got some friends watching. Glad to have you on, Kobe. Second one doesn't go. Rebound Bears coming down the other way. Bears looking good in the second half. They get it into Cruzy. Cruzy driving to the basket. Kicks it back out. Works it around. Right back into her. She got a better look this time. Off the glass. Didn't quite go. Rebound Comets. And again, here we're setting up with that patient offense. A little over and back call. I kind of thought it was tipped, but maybe not. So Moan's out. Graspin in. So we have Sievert and Graspin kind of on top. Cherney in the middle on Cruzy. Bailey Olsen and Inez Schmidt down below. Smith with a three-pointer, no go. Cruzy's right there for the rebound. Doesn't go. Gets her own rebound. Doesn't go. Rebounded that time to Jillick. She fires it off the backboard. Doesn't go. Another offensive rebound into Cruzy. Goes up again. Keeps fighting. Rebound. Back again. Again, that girl's a freshman playing in the varsity world. She's going to be something to watch in the future. Comets again, patiently working the ball around. Waiting for a cutter or somebody open. They got Graspin in there. She fires one up, but that's a tough area to try and work to the middle when you got Cruzy right there. Bears with the rebound, setting it up again. Cruzy in the middle. Works it over to Smith, back to Cruzy. And there she goes up and in again. Cruzy is just tough to stop inside. She's racked up at least 6 points in the second half. They get it inside to Cherney, but Cherney has nowhere to go. Ends up getting fouled by Cruzy. That's Cruzy's third, so definitely 11 minutes left in the game. I wouldn't say by any means she's in foul trouble. Have to be careful if she gets one more, though. Journey to the line, a little hard off the rim. And a Baraboo waiting to go in, and by the looks of it, she's going in for the shooter. So Workman coming in the game now for Cruzy, they're going to give her a little break. I don't anticipate the way she's been scoring, she's going to be out long. Cherney for a second, no good, but Grassman with the rebound, tries to save it. She does, but comes up in the hands of Smith. Jillick over to Smith. Smith thinking about driving, runs into Bailey Olson, nowhere to go there. Donica has it. She starts in. Comets collapse on her, back out to Smith. Smith fires a three, doesn't go. Donica, nice rebound, up with it, and fouled by Cherney. Baraboo returning into the game. Cherney sitting down. Baraboo with the rebound, right over to Grassman. Grassman brings it down. And they set up again. Sievert on top. Over to Schmidt. Working it down. Bailey Olson for a three. A little bit short off the rim. Schmidt with a nice rebound, tried to feed it to Grassman, but fired it off Grassman's feet. Loose ball came up in the hands of Mesa, but Mesa fell to the ground with it. A little too much movement down there, and traveling was a call. Inbounds, Comets, Olson into Baraboo. Baraboo with a hard drive, but Smith, well, she had that blocked all the way, but a little bit of body at the same time. So that's her third foul. Again, 10 minutes, 20 seconds left in the game. I definitely wouldn't say she's in foul trouble, but she has three. Baraboo at the line, hits her first. Aggie Schmidt now coming in for Bailey Olson. Ava Lusson in for Sievert. And Ashlyn Candler, number 25. Junior, her first time out in this game. And she come in for Inez Schmidt. Baraboo hits both. Bears come back. Comets up 62-20. Comets, again, being a little aggressive on defense. They're up there right in their face. Working it around. Smith drives, tips it over to Donica, which was actually a nice pass. Donica kind of lost control and when she put it down on the floor on the way in. But she was open in the middle after that drive by Smith. Had her wide open and just kind of lost the handle. Looks like the Comets are doubling down on Donica. Smith on top, feeds it over. Donica ends up with it underneath, goes up off the glass, no go. And you can see Aggie Schmidt first thought was, we're gonna run this thing. And she got about halfway and realized that's not what we're doing here in the second half. And then she pulled up and waited for the rest of her team. So working around, Lusson saved it to Schmidt, back to Lusson. Inside to Baraboo, over to Grassman, and Candler for three. No good, off the rim, bounced around. Baraboo, Donica tie it up, jump ball, Barron ball. And Cruzy's back in. This time she comes in for Donica. They're a good combo to have out there on the court together, that's for sure. But everybody needs a break. Smith in the corner, they try and get into Cruzy. Baraboo gets a hand on it, just enough for Aggie Schmidt to come up with it. And again, her first instinct was to take off and pulled it up at half court. Candler over to Schmidt, into Lusson. Lusson kicks to Grassman. Some good ball movement for an open look there, but off the rim, no go. Smith with the rebound. Gillett brings it up. Over to Workman. Workman covered hard by Candler. They tried to feed it into Cruzy again. No go. Got tipped away. Ball to Lussin. Lussin tried to get Anna Baraboo inside quickly. Didn't get it. Tipped away by Cruzy. Now coming in, freshman Claudia Mones, number 23, Bridget's sister. So she gets some time usually on the JV floor. Now she's getting some time on the varsity floor. Candler playing a little aggressive defense, and Jillick wanted no part of it. Baraboo with the rebound, ahead to Candler. Candler feeds it over to Baraboo. Baraboo inside to Claudia Mones, who cut to the basket. She saved the pass, got it together in. Excellent. Workman with the ball into Cruzy. She's got a lane. Pulls up, out to Smith for a little baseline jumper. It's in front of the rim, taps over, and it's out. Grassman brings us down. Lussin on top, over to Mones, working it over to Candler. I don't know if it was tipped away there, but lost the ball anyhow. Barron has it. Workman on top. Over to Gillick, kind of threw it right at her feet. She didn't have a good grip. Candler's all over her. Gillick, I think, getting a little frustrated. Kind of almost is limping. Not sure what's going on there. And it looks like we have a timeout. Comets. We do have a timeout. Comets, 64-20. 6 minutes, 48 seconds left in this second half. And if I'm correct, at this point in time, we will have running time.
Look, everybody wanna go and talk. At the same time, gotta walk it. Better yet, run, go, hit a lick, divvy up with my homies, and we do it all again.
A word from our sponsor, the Air Force. I think back in my day, it was called a great place to start. But the military branches, the college programs that they pay for and the training you get, very impressive and very honorable service. Always thank the veterans for their service. It's Comets ball. Out on the court now, we have Claudia Mones inbounds to Ashlyn Candler. I see a new face out there, number 3, Casey Anderson. Her first time on the court today, or tonight I should say, in the varsity matchup. Mones, a little drive over to Anderson. Anderson fires a 3. A little bit off. Baraboo with the rebound, shoots it over to Lussin. Lussin kicks it out to Candler. Candler saves it herself, throws it, attempts to throw it off Donica. Donica saves it and stays in the game. Barron with a new girl in. I actually have to go down to the JV roster for this one. Or at least it would appear. Number 22, it says Cadence Holton. Comets with the ball. Lussin fires a 3. No good. Rebound was to Mones. Mones got it into Baraboo. Baraboo went up. Didn't get the basket to go, but was fouled. So Baraboo, last of the starters on the floor. And my guess is Kylie Cherney will be replacing her. Donica with the rebound. Comets back on D. Workman brings it up. Thinks about going in. Out to Smith. Over to Donica. Must have double tapped that ball a little bit there. A little double dribble they're calling it. I can't say I seen it perfectly. Baraboo is out. Cherney is in. Again, anytime the lead halfway through the second half is 40 points or more, we have running time, which means the clock does not stop for out of bounds or free throws. It only stops at a timeout. Comets working the ball around, working around very nicely. Lusson on top, over to Moans. Moans working around to Lusson. Lusson kind of drives, over to Moans, on top to Candler. Candler over to Casey Anderson, into Cherney. Over to Candler. Candler a little too hard, over Moans' head, out of bounds. Barron ball. And I see Barron with another new player in, Bella Petrie. In. I seen her on the JV court a little bit earlier. So she's in, getting some varsity playing time. Always good. Workman over to what I have down here is Holton. Cruzy tries to throw it over, but a little too far for Petrie, and turnover, Comet ball. Comets down. Moans fires the three. No good. Rebound. The Bears. Petrie fires up a three. A little bit long. Well, the refs were thinking about two different calls. We had the double dribble, and the other one's going to call a foul, but the call is the double dribble happened before the foul, so turnover, Comets ball. Comets down the corner. Lusson works it around to Anderson. Anderson in the post. Cherney. Cherney wraps around the corner, drives, comes off the glass. No go. Cruzy with the rebound. Petrie brings it up over to Workman. Back to Petrie. Shoots it across the court to Holton. Holton. Pass it up top to Workman. Candler gets her hands on it, knocks it past half court. Workman just goes back, gets it, starts over. Again, trying to get it in. Looks like we might have a jump ball, and we do. Comets ball. Candler almost traveled, didn't, but she kept that 1 foot down. Brings it back up in the middle. Over to Lusson on the corner, out to Cherney, over to Moans, over to Anderson, back to Moans. They're thinking about those baseline shots, just haven't pulled the trigger yet. Looked like Donica got a hand on that one when they tried to get it to Moans in the corner. Comets ball out of bounds, down to 1:25 on the clock. Candler up top, working around to Lusson. She's trying to drive, gets to the baseline. There's nothing doing there. Out top to Candler, back to Lusson again. Into Cherney. Cruzy leaning on her. Nothing doing there. Comets work it back out again. Workman picks that one off. Casey Anderson on the foul, but the foul apparently was before the shot on the floor. So that simply means Barron ball out of bounds. Donica, nice turnaround jumper there. Covered well by Cherney, but nice turnaround jump shot for Donica. Candler on top, running the offense, trying to work it around. Back and forth with Moans right now. Flashing to the middle is Cherney, nothing there. Lusson looks, two girls flashing at the same time. That's never going to work. They got to mix it up a little bit. Bones, back to Candler. We're down to 13 seconds left. Turn the ball over. 9 seconds left. They actually stopped the clock, so Barron can actually set something up if they want to get a play in. They're down to 9 seconds. Three on the clock. Finishes at the basket, no go. So, 64-22, our final score. The Comets, with a victory here, go 7-0 in the conference, 8-2 overall. The Barron Bears might stay in 5th place, even though they lost. They're 3-3 in the conference. Now they're going to be 3-4 in the conference. Again, Barron on Monday goes to Grantsburg. And for the Cameron Comets, I'll refresh again. Next Tuesday, they'll be at Ashland. Ashland 0-7 in the conference. So, might not be a hard match for the Comets on Tuesday, but that's good. It's a long trip, and they got to rest up for Friday, because Friday the 16th is against Hayward. Hayward 6-0, tied for the conference lead, and it looks like this conference might come down to that game and possibly the other game when Hayward comes to Cameron. Hayward having a very good year, 9-1 overall right now, 6-0. We will be back with you as far as Cameron girls basketball next Monday night against Ladysmith, or excuse me, not next Monday, a week from Monday, the 19th, against Ladysmith is the next time you'll have me. I'll try and have some more trivia ready for you. But those of you watching the We Are Cameron Network, the boys basketball have games tomorrow night and Saturday night. So a busy stretch here for We Are Cameron. I believe you will have Jay Cornell the next 2 nights. He takes the boys, I take the girls. Another good performance for the Comets. They really turned it on the first half, slowed it down the second half. I don't want any of the Comet fans to get dismayed. Like, wow, they did so good the first half and not the second. The second half, they slowed it down. It's kind of a courtesy thing, and just tried to work some things, work some offense, see what works, see what doesn't work, and give some players some time that might not get time in some of those tight games. So thanks, everybody, for hanging around. It's been another fun night. Hope you're enjoying this season with me. Just getting my feet wet. I think we're on game 2 or 3, and we can only go up from here, right? I can't stress enough, everybody has to be on the road tonight. Be safe, and I'll be back with you on the 19th.